Hey, what's up? This is Amyx, the creative entrepreneur, the founder of the Passionpreneur Academy, and the creator of the Passionpreneur Blueprint, where I train creators all around the world who are authors, speakers, trainers, and coaches on how to get really clear and stand in their truth and find their own inner power to lead their people and to create programs and freaking crush it and get paid. And today I'm excited because I'm hanging out with my good friend Jan, and he is from Germany. He's a blogger. And he has some cool companies that he started, and he's a young dude, and I love speaking to young people who have actually gone on this entrepreneurial journey and seeing what is actually possible in today's marketplace. So, dude, how are things going in Germany this evening for you, this morning for me?
Hi AJ, thanks for having me. The things are going really well. I just started negotiating with a new client for web design stuff, and I think that's becoming a pretty awesome project.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. So, dude, I want to know a little bit about you, and I know the people listening to this, they want to know, how did you get started? I mean, you're a young dude. You're a young cat. So how did you get started in this whole entrepreneurial space, and what made you make that decision to make the jump?
Actually, I made the decision to be an entrepreneur right after I finished my integrated degree exam. I have a degree in business informatics, and I thought that would be a pretty good start in the normal job world, working from 9 to 5. But as soon as I started my job, I noticed that I wouldn't be happy there because I was still working for somebody else, and somebody else would reap the benefits of what I was working for, and I was working my ass off, and I just didn't get that paid that I expected. I didn't get that money that I expected. And I started with founding my own company besides my normal job. So I was working 40 hours a week for my employer, and then part-time founding and running a web design business. And that turned out to be working quite well, but right now I'm in the transition phase. I'm working 20 hours a week for my employer and the rest of the time for my own business, and I really love that decision.
Awesome. So, dude, tell me, like, what has your journey been like, and when you made this decision? And you have this book, and I read it, and I actually like your book. It's really well done. It's an ebook, and it's great. And we'll tell the people more about that later. But like, you talk about going to university, and then you did it. You went through the degree, but then you got to the job, and you're like, I thought I was going to make X amount of dollars, but I'm not going
Yeah.
to, and this isn't going to provide the lifestyle that I want to experience. So I have to make this different decision. And so that's what you did. So what were some of the obstacles that you experienced in that place?
So the biggest obstacle that I had was not trusting in myself that I really could do it. I'm just a normal guy. I'm right off from university. Why would everybody or anybody pay me to do web design stuff or to build a website or maintain their network or something like that? And actually, I founded the company together with a very good friend of mine who is a really good expert for networking and network maintenance stuff. And so we complement each other really well. He's doing all the network stuff and I'm doing all the web design stuff. And we decided that we could together really provide a good value for the companies in our near location. And I knew that I wouldn't be happy working from 9 to 5 from somebody else. So I just had no chance but to try it. And actually, what made me make this decision was the book from Pat Flynn. I was following his blog for a long time, and I read his book Let Go, and that really resonated with me. And that's some point where I realized how important it is to overcome your fears and just do things. But as soon as you get your ass out and get your name out, you will meet new people you never met before, and you wouldn't even expect them to meet, and just great things will happen.
Awesome. So, dude, how did you overcome this fear? Because a lot of people, they get freaking paralyzed by this fear. They
Yeah.
I want to do this, and then they get scared, and they just make excuse after excuse after excuse. So what did you do
Yeah.
to overcome that?
Actually, I had before starting my company, before founding my company, I was in a part-time exam, a master's exam for IT security, and I was working like 70 to 80 hours per week just for that exam. And with that exam, I expected to make like 6 figures a year instantly from working from a job, but just couldn't do the amount of work. And I knew if I would run a company, I would have less to work. So actually, I would improve my position, but have more chances. So I had nothing to lose, basically. I
Awesome.
knew that my boss was okay with founding a company beside me as long as I don't have the same customers or the same target market as he does. And that's why I just had nothing to lose.
Ah, that makes perfect sense. So when
Yeah.
was a time that things didn't work out for you? Because many entrepreneurs, like say, they have this grand vision and then they
Mhm.
overcome their fears and they hop out, but shit happens. Like that just it's just
Yeah.
gonna happen. So what was a
Yeah.
time like when stuff went down, and then how did you handle that?
Actually, that time came pretty fast. I had some clients right up from the beginning where I could do some website stuff and maintain their networks and stuff. But I had a very hard time to find new clients because the companies in my location are very conservative. And, there's the saying everybody could do a website. And just every student here, we have a university for informatics in our country, in our city. And so there are lots of students offering this website design services, and there was a time like 2 months right away from starting where I had a hard time to find new customers, and I overcame this partially by procrastinating. So I ran away before my problem, and I just didn't take any action because I was just paralyzed as well, just like you said. But as soon as you start working again and talking to new people and just building a network, I think it's the easiest way and the most efficient way to overcome fears and paralysis.
Yeah, dude. Network is freaking everything when it comes to
Yeah,
entrepreneurship. And
yeah,
people always say your net worth is determined by your network, right? I mean, that's pretty
yeah,
standard cliche in personal development and business development. But dude, there's a lot of truth in that. Like at the end of the day, it all comes down to relationships, and
yeah,
you
exactly.
you have to find out who are your people that you work with and where are they hanging out, whether that's online or offline. In my experience, it's find them online and offline and then
Yeah,
go out and build friendships with those people. And if you can do that, and you do that consistently, you get business because people are like, I like you. This is what you do. You could solve my problem.
yeah,
Help me. So it's awesome. I love
yeah.
it. I love it.
And what really worked well for me is mouth-to-mouth propaganda. So just being recommended by my current clients to my future clients, that really helped me a lot.
Ah, yes, dude. Word of mouth is freaking awesome. And if you
Yeah,
can show up and deliver, do a good job, then like you said, yeah, people are definitely just going to be like, dude, you need to go talk to Jan, dude. He can freaking rock it for you. So
yeah,
go here, go here, go here.
yeah. I always try to over-deliver my clients. Sometimes I promise a little bit less than I really plan to deliver. So I always have this feeling for my client that I worked more than I had to do, and that's what builds really good relationships with my customers.
Yeah, yeah. So what I hear you saying is kind of a key to entrepreneurship when it comes to fulfillment and getting new
Yeah,
clients is to underpromise and overdeliver. Even if the
yeah,
project is this and you know that's what it takes, tell them,
yeah.
well, we're going to do this, but do the extra anyway.
Yeah, though you have to make sure that you don't promise or that you promise enough to get the order, to get the project.
Exactly. Exactly. So dude, tell me this because like here in America anyway, at least me and my generation, we were definitely conditioned to believe that we had to go to university or college to get this
Yeah, me
degree
too.
to then have this job. So tell me,
Yeah,
how did that prepare you for where you're at in your life right now?
at least nothing.
Love it.
um, what helped me with going to university is that I got my feet in informatics and also know a little bit of the business background. But I could also easily started directly right from the beginning instead of going to university, because what I learned is that university is very theoretical and you just can't use 70% of the stuff, at least 70%, that's for me, in the practical world, in the real world. So you don't need to go to university to become successful.
Yeah, yeah, dude, I totally agree with you. I always tell people get skill sets. I mean, at the end of the
Yeah,
day, get skill sets. And whatever
yeah,
you need to do to get those skill sets, do that. If that means going to university, then go to university. If it means going to a tech school, go to a tech school. If that means hiring a coach or a mentor or buying some type of product or program, then do that. Whatever it takes, get a
yeah.
skill set and then go out there and freaking crush it. So I'm totally in alignment with you on that one. And in your
Mm,
book, I love this quote that you said. You said, I'm not telling you just to follow your dreams, because that's not the way it works. So it's kind of funny because people say, well, follow your bliss and follow your dreams. So what do you mean by that, meaning that's not the way it works?
The question is quite easy to answer. So why would everybody care about the dreams that I have? Why should somebody pay me to reach my dreams? It's not about me, it's about my customers. And like you said, I heard it all the time again, just follow your dreams and do what you like and you will get successful. No, it's just about helping others and helping customers. And if you can help those customers by following your passion, obviously that's good. And obviously that's what makes business really successful and really boosts income. But as soon as you help customers, they don't care about your dreams, and you shouldn't focus on your dreams too much. You should find something that you're good at and that you like to do, but then figure out how to solve daily problems of people. And the more people you can enrich lives, the better you will do. That's it.
Yeah, dude, totally agree. And you just dropped a bomb for the people that are listening right now. Because at the end of the day, it's about helping people. And
exactly.
It's important for us to be passionate about our chosen industry or vocation that we go into, especially in today's marketplace, because if you're not hungry and continue to learn and continue to grow within your space, somebody else is going to take your place, I assure you. And people want to work with the best people. Doesn't matter if they live here in the States, doesn't matter if they live in Germany, doesn't matter if they live in India. They want to work with somebody who's freaking good and can get them results. So it's important for us to be passionate about, so we're hungry for always getting the knowledge, but at the same time, to always continue getting the skill set so that we can then continue to serve. And if we do that, we will create very successful businesses and very cool lifestyles for ourselves. So in your opinion, what are people really looking for in today's marketplace?
People are looking for, what I find is that people are really looking for mentors and getting themselves out there. I'm talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people tell me that they'd love to start a business themselves and they love to get some advice. And what I think what most people struggle with is find someone to skip the first steps. Because what helped me a lot is that I joined several training programs just not to make the mistakes everybody else makes. Because you obviously need to skip some steps to become successful quite fast. And, there's this saying, get rich overnight in the internet. And that's just not possible, I think. That is maybe 1% out of 100 do get rich overnight, but for the vast majority it's just working hard and working consistently, and when you have to make every mistake on your own, I don't think that you will ever become successful.
Yeah,
because it just takes too long.
Yeah, I would agree, and I would say overnight is never existed, not even for, I don't even think for 1%. And the people that are deemed the overnight success are the people that made $1 million in their first 18 months online. They spent 4 years previously trying to figure everything out, and then they packaged and positioned, because then they started getting paid, $1, and then they were able to leverage their network and all of the relationships that they experienced to then go to that $1 million mark in 18 months. But they don't remember, they don't tell the whole picture of the 4 and 5 year backstory of where they were struggling trying to figure everything out. So therefore they're deemed an overnight success instead of somebody who stayed with it and grinded it out.
Yeah, and people don't want to hear that preparation, because people love this feeling of having the ability to become rich quickly, and that just doesn't exist. It's as simple as that.
Exactly. I mean, like, another story that paints this, I'm like a huge Nirvana fan. Anybody that knows me knows I love Nirvana, and I like Kurt Cobain, think he's awesome. In fact, got the painting behind me, him revving in the interview today. But, they were deemed an overnight success when Nevermind dropped, right? But they didn't. They weren't an overnight success because they've been playing in the late 80s, playing everywhere, doing everything they can, working their butts off, and then they're an overnight success. This is kind of funny. So I think the online space is the exact same way.
Yeah, it's exactly another example for that is Pat Flynn from smartpassiveincome.com. I think everybody knows him. And he made like $8,000 in his first month with a website that he had created 1.5 years before. And if he hadn't put in this hard work in the years before, he wouldn't have ever made a single dollar.
Yep.
It's
Bingo.
as simple as that.
Exactly. Yeah. So, dude, what are some steps that you'd recommend to somebody that's starting a business today?
At first, figure out what you really want to do and how you can help people with that. As an example, I knew that I was wanting to generate passive income. I don't want to work all my day and trade my hours for money, but I want to have passive income and I want to have it scalable. So I knew that blogging would be a good start. Web design isn't. Web design isn't really a good source for passive income. That's why I decided to build an internet business as well. When you know that what you want to do and how you can help people, grab somebody who has already done it and learn from him. That's the thing that really is coming over and over and again. And in fact, I'm just building a small company, a small membership program for young entrepreneurs for mentoring them as well. And maybe we can get a link in there below the show notes and on your post, but that's not the focus. The focus is get a mentor, get help, build a network. That's the best advice I can give you when you're starting out.
Yep, great advice. If I had everything to do over again, I would have hired a coach or mentor way freaking sooner. And every time I ask that question to somebody that's like, hey, what would you do differently if you knew now what you knew then? And they're like, I would have hired a coach or mentor before to help me get through the gap. Yeah. Like it's like everybody always says that. It's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
So, dude,
you know,
go ahead.
Entrepreneurs usually want to do everything on their own.
Yep.
It's for me as well. I don't want to use outsourcing if I don't need to. I don't want to use other people's knowledge if I don't need to. I want to figure out how to solve the problems on my own. But starting a business on your own is incredibly hard, and it's so easy to use a mentor, and that doesn't mean that you have to adapt the methods of your mentor and that you have to adapt the personality or the characteristics of your mentor. It's just meaning that you don't make mistakes everybody else makes when working on his own. Yep. That's the benefit.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. And that talks, you talk about outsourcing. You kind of talked about it in your book about outsourcing. What are some tools that we could give these people who are listening right now if they want to outsource? Because dude, we can really outsource freaking anything to anybody these days. But there are some ways. So what are some tools that you have found or some ways to actually make sure you're selecting the right provider? Because there is this myth that you're going to get taken advantage of, and all the. I have never been taken advantage of by outsourcing, but I do have a very specific plan that I work with. But what is your kind of strategy on that?
My strategy is that I don't want to pay as little as I can. I'm paying a reasonable price, and I'm paying a price I know I can request high quality work with. And actually, I found he's a good friend of mine. In my first outsourcing project, I found a developer from Pakistan who runs a company, who has a team of 30 developers, and we were working I think 6 or 7 months. We are working together now, and he's very similar, like-minded to me, and he's just doing high-quality work. He gets paid high quality. He doesn't work for $6 or $7 per hour.
Right.
But when you know that. Or the first thing I do when I try to hire a new one is get work examples. I always take a look at the work examples, and I always try to speak to the previous contractors he or she has. Usually I don't hire anyone who has less than 100 hours of experience. I'm using Odesk for that, so on Odesk you can pretty easily set filters. And when I'm satisfied with the work examples and the previous contractors tell me that they did a good work, then I'm contacting those people, and I'm try to speak to them directly via Skype, just to get a feeling of who the person is, and if we get well together, and if he or she understands what I want her to do. Because I think when an outsourcing partner doesn't understand the vision that you have, he can't deliver good work.
No, I totally agree. That's kind of one of my big keys that I do when I outsource as well, is when I do get them on Skype. That's mandatory for me to get them on Skype. I don't have to see their face, but at least we can communicate. And there's a couple of things that come out of that. One, I know we can communicate clearly, which is very important in any type of relationship or working relationship, being able to communicate effectively. And then secondly, I always, instead of saying, do you understand my project? Because then they can say yes. I always pose a question. I say, what does my project consist of? That way they then have to then articulate back to me what my project consists of, and then it validates that they do know what my project consists of and when my deadline is. And that's what I do every single time, and it works out really, really good for me.
Yeah, I'm using a similar method for that. Outsourcing partners really easily answer with yes, and of course I can meet your deadline, and of course I understand you, and dear sir, please give me your money. It's always like that. And as soon as you get them to explain what you want them to do, you can be sure if they understand it or if they don't.
Yeah.
That's it.
So dude, let me ask you, let me kind of go back into the entrepreneurial work here.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting, as entrepreneurs, we're always pushing, we're always growing, and we have this idea of this concept of we're experiencing pain in some type of prison, and then we see this new possibility. In order to go to this new possibility that we see, we have to go through this gap. And to get through this gap, we can hire coaches or mentors. But at the end of the day, you're standing there in this place, looking down, going, holy hell, I got to get through this gap. And it's painful and it's scary. So I want you to kind of talk about what are ways that you overcome that fear, because as an entrepreneur, you're facing fear pretty much every day of some sort. And it is this internal battle that really rages within us. And so what are some ways that you deal with that internal beast?
I try to cage my internal beast by using my network. I built a network not of a lot of people, like 3 or 4 people I really enjoy dealing with and I'm really good friends with right now. And use them to hold me accountable. I chat all the time about the things that I plan and the things that I want to do, and they're literally kick my ass if I don't do what I told them. And that's a good way, because when you are on your own to hold yourself accountable on your own, you won't do it. As soon, or at least for me, it doesn't work. Maybe I start, but after a week or 2, I lose focus and I do something different. But if I know what I'm heading for and I'm telling other people, that's also why I started my blog. I was a web designer. I knew nothing about internet business, not a single fact. But I started my blog to use the publicity to inform them about my learning process. So I needed to keep going. Because as soon as you get out there, people will start resonating with you. As soon as you comment on others' blogs, the bloggers come back to your blog and leave their comments there. It's this blog hopping method. And as soon as you start building relationships with others and they're reading your blog and your publicity grows and you're getting more visitors and you're getting comments and all this stuff, people expect you to go forward. So that's a very, very good method I'm using to overcome my fears. And people talk to me and you can't procrastinate as an entrepreneur and you have to be working consistently. And I think what's by far more important is that you build your business around the lifestyle that you want. As I said, I want passive income. I don't want to work all the time. My ideal lifestyle is working like 20 hours a week or something like that, because I enjoy it, but not because I have to. And I try to keep this lifestyle in mind and also enjoy my life. I don't work from 8 to 12 or something like that, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. I try to enjoy my life and to meet with friends and to enjoy the time I have with my girlfriend and my family and all those things. And business is second. That's it. It's what's the most important thing for me right now is doing interviews like this. That's the only thing that can interrupt my daily schedule because of the time shift between like US and Germany. But everything else is scheduled so that it fits my free time.
Awesome. Dude, where can people go to find out more about you, what you got going on? And you talked about this coaching or this membership site you have coming up. So drop some information about what's that going to be and where can people find out information if they want to get plugged in with you?
The membership is reachable under theyes.com. It's the Young Entrepreneur Success System, it's called. You can also find me on my blog, mygreatonlinebusiness.com or jkoch.me, just as you like. And on Twitter, I'm mygob, MYGOB.
Awesome. Dude, thank you so much for hanging with us today. And for all you guys that are listening today, I hope that this interview has really helped serve you, and understand that you don't have to be afraid, and understand that if you are afraid of starting your business, or if you are afraid of going through your next gap of your next area of growth, it's all good, because we are all that way. So until we talk,
it's totally okay.
Yes. So until we talk again, guys, stop sucking and freaking crush it.